of Public Policy at Christian Concern, and Sam Dowler, journalist and LGBT activist. Afternoon to you both. Tim, surely this is one for the parents would be many people's response. And I guess as a Christian, you would side with the mother on this.
Absolutely. I think schools have a duty to consult parents about sex education and to abide by their own religious and moral views on the subject. In this case, the school gave no warning, gave no information to the parents about it, said and just wanted to take the children on a pride march. It's a political event, a controversial political event. This is about indoctrination. It's about sexualisation of very young children and initiating them in sexual ideologies. The school had on its website a photograph of a year one pupil saying, "I have a dream if boys could go to the same toilets as girls." Is that really something that we want pupils to be encouraging, or is good for pupils, is good for girls, let alone boys, to put them in the same toilets? And I think the parent was quite right to respectfully say, please could my child be withdrawn from this political activity? And the school should have just said, yes, of course you can do that. Nobody should be obligated to engage with a political activity like this.
There we are. Sam Dowler, that's a very firm response from Tim there. How do you respond?
Well, first of all, LGBTQ and pride stuff is not political at all. It's about life. It's about our life. It's about kids' lives. It's about the fact that we want kids to feel accepted, loved, whoever they are, really. So I don't know what your guest is talking about when he's talking about indoctrination. I mean, the only indoctrination I know is from the Christian church, making gay people feel like they are sinful, or that they aren't or that they're wrong in some way. So I'm pretty sure that the Bible itself taught people to forgive, to love one another, etc. So this just seems like more overreach from communities like this, where you basically want to make people feel bad about themselves. And also, I don't understand why this woman would want to sue a school which is already strapped for cash anyway. And this is a messy old subject, and it's got nothing to do with politics at all.
Tim, nothing to do with politics. And why do you want to ban people from being part of the flock?
I'm not banning anybody from being part of the flock at all. You're quite right. It's a gospel of love and forgiveness for everybody, but it's also a gospel of purity and living holiness and wanting to celebrate marriage and family and all those kind of things. And the LGBT ideology is actually an attack on family. It is a political movement. It is trying to, as we see today, even enforce its political agenda on the Church of England in terms of what the definition of marriage is. And it is about sexualising young children. And no child should have to engage in a political activity like a march. Of course they should.
What about a family that's two mothers or two fathers? Is that not a real family then?
It's yes, of course it's a family, yes, but
what's the difference?
What do you mean? What's the difference? Obviously there's
why is that not a normal family, or is that like somehow sinful that it's two loving male partners and a child, or two loving female partners and a child? Explain to me.
Listen, research shows that on average it's better for children to be brought up by male and female parents. That on average, that is what's best for children. Sure, you want what is best for children on average, what the research best shows is best for children.
What is best for children is to feel loved and accepted.
In schools for children and encourage, obviously you accept people have different lifestyles. We love them, we respect them, and we want to get on with them and enable people to get on with them. But, there's a place for saying, actually the best way is this way, and that's the best way. And we don't want to engage very young children in sexual ideologies. LGBT
isn't sexual. It isn't sexual. It isn't sexual at all. That is ridiculous. Like saying to people that it's okay to love another man, or it's okay, like so and so has two daddies, so and so has two mummies. There is absolutely nothing wrong. It's not sexualizing children the slightest. No more than Cinderella is sexualizing children or any other fairy story which ends in some sort of romance. The problem is people are leaving the church in droves, and it's actions like this that make it absolutely obvious why people are doing it. Young people are coming out as LGBTQ more and more as the years go by, and honestly, like you're losing young people, and you're just going to end up with a bunch of old fogies that are going to die off, and so will the church.
Okay, so churches that actually teach traditional values on this are the ones that are growing, and churches that are adopting LGBT ideology are the ones that are declining. So that point is clear, that actually the churches that actually stick firm to traditional values on this are the ones that are actually growing and reaching people, and people are keen to be countercultural in this way and to actually go for purity and sexual morality in contrast to our culture. Clearly there's a sexual agenda here, clearly
Honestly,
saying, I have a dream of boys going to the same toilets as girls. That's obviously a sexual thing. Who's saying that is good for pupils? Are you saying that is good for pupils to say, I want boys to go into to female girls?
How is going to the toilet? How is going to the toilet a sexual thing at all? How is going to the toilet a sexual thing?
Right, so you agree then with the objections to what's being taught in this school, and that the parents have a right to want to take their child out of these kind of activities and out of this kind of ideology, which is political and is sexualizing, and it should be stopped.
No, what do you mean it should be stopped? You have to get in with the 21st century. Like you just
agreed with me. You just agreed with me.
What you're saying is so backward. And honestly, I'm glad you're sitting down, because the church does not have a leg to stand on when it comes to protecting children. For goodness sakes, I think we all know. I'd rather leave my kids with a drag queen than with a priest. Thanks very much, looking after them, because you have a terrible reputation, and it's rubbish like this that obviously that keeps people away from the church.
Sam, broadly speaking, is it okay, though, if you are a Christian, if you are a Muslim or a Jew, and you have devout religious beliefs, and you don't believe that within the Venn diagram the school has any place in any kind of, whether it's sexual education in whatever kind, whether it's an LGBT plus pride march, whatever, do you not, as the parent, have the right to say, I don't want this to be part of my kid's education. I can deal with that at home. This is not a matter for the classroom.
Look, I think if a parent wants to take any child out of a school, that is their prerogative, and I don't think any, no child should be forced to go to any lessons that they don't want to, or their parents don't want them to. But I just think it's archaic. And there was a case that was in Wales only like last month, I think it was, where the judge threw out a whole, like, where they were trying to say that it was an indoctrination of LGBTQ lifestyles, and the judge said it was nonsense. So I mean, I'm very interested to see how this case goes, because I don't know whether it's more to do with, does a parent have the right to take their child out of school, or I very much doubt that he was forced to go to a pride parade, or and also you say it was sprung on her as well. But you also said in the same sentence that there was a letter went round and saying that was going to happen. So I don't see how that's springing something.
No, you misread me that. It actually appeared in the media, and that was what actually alerted the parents to what was happening. I'm glad you agree with me, Sam, that parents should have the right to withdraw their children from this kind of education. That is actually what the case is about. They were given no warning. They didn't say the school shouldn't do this. They said, please, can our child not do it? Please, can our own child please be excused from this kind of thing? And they should have been allowed to do it. Instead, the school said falsely that they had a legal requirement to do it, and said that they must do it, and that the child be disciplined if they didn't participate in this march. And I think that you obviously agree with me. That's completely unreasonable behaviour by the school, and it's quite right for it to be challenged in court now.
Final word, Sam?
Well, I'll be interested to see how the case progresses. Obviously, if it's a case of like overreach by the school, or saying that a kid had to do it. But I doubt that's the case. But I'm very interested into how it will turn out.
Indeed, Sam Dowling.